Many people believe that 90% of golf is played in your head. Once you have learned the physical skills of golf fairly well, your performance becomes as much a mind game as anything else. The following footage is of 3 boys, all at different ability levels of golf. Mastery of technique, concentration, game strategy, and the true spirit of junior golf can be observed. Golf is a game that is based on several clubs, a ball, and one person that creates the driving force behind it all, the golfer. It is a sport renowned for challenging, and the key, some say, is to focus all of your attention on what you want to happen, and try to ignore everything else. If you don't feel like you're progressing as you would like, then motivational techniques might be of use to you. Performance and improvement to one's self in one's own game is all that really matters, and that's the focus of this film. Attention and concentration in sport is referred to as applied attention. In other words, becoming completely focused and single-minded on the task at hand, such as every putt and hole as you encounter them. For such focus to be attained by a junior golfer, there must be the important factor of motivation present. This type of motivation is known as intrinsic motivation, in which a person engages in an activity purely for the satisfaction and pleasure of participating in it, which in this instance is golf. This type of motivation, however, can be hard to achieve if you're not a natural at playing golf. Task involvement is very important when learning a new sport or new skills by the means of mastery. Golf may be such an appealing sport because of the fact that it's a game that can be played on your own or in groups, by the young and by the old, by the proficient and by the raw beginner, with a referee or without one, at world-renowned venues or at your local club. There are 2 major categories of motivation: ego orientation and task orientation. Unfortunately for many of us, we typically measure ourselves and are measured by others through ego orientation, in which a person perceives their ability as being able to outperform others, rather than improving their own game. One danger in this is that no matter how we measure ourselves, we can nearly always find someone who is performing better, more efficiently, or more effectively. Even the best golfers can find themselves getting distracted by the progress of others. This can result in a significant drain on the player's desire and intrinsic motivation. Ego-oriented thinking can be characterized by thoughts like, "I'll never catch up with him, no matter how hard I try. Look how much farther he hits the ball than I do." In junior golf, there are many examples of situations where a young person may have more success simply because of physical growth differences. For those who have not caught up physically with the early bloomers, they may feel significantly inferior and constantly be concerned about not being good enough. This is because they are in constant comparison to someone bigger, stronger, or more skilled. Some examples would be, "Gosh, he's going for the par 5 in 2, maybe I should as well. I've got to make a birdie for everyone." Or, "She's making every putt she's looking at, maybe I'll be a little bit more aggressive with my stroke to make some too." Ultimately, this kind of thinking can lead players to set their goals too high, not play to their strengths, and to make decisions that are unwise. Fortunately, there is an alternative option from that of ego orientation. Task orientation is simply motivation to achieve excellence at a particular task. In other words, to master a certain skill, known as mastery. The emphasis here is pursuit towards the reaching of one's own goals, and not to worry about how other people are performing, known as social comparison. It only matters how the individual is performing. Some ways to become more task-oriented is to set personal progress goals, develop specific plans of action, and to create personal measurements by which to chart growth. Examples of task orientation thoughts are, knowing that I'm getting better every day, I'm 50% of the way towards my goal. Helps players stay on task and helps them remain motivated to fight through the natural challenges that are faced by anyone working hard to reach their potential. This can be referred to as self-talk, which is a way to overcome these feelings of ego-oriented negativity about their perceived abilities. Using positive self-talk can create a positive mood state, change existing negative affective states, control effort, help in skill up, change bad habits, help to maintain proper focus, and build self-efficacy. Teaching the methods of task orientation, task involvement, and positive self-talk to young golfers will help them to stay motivated, on track, and to put the emphasis on the parts of the sport over which they have influence and control, such as improving their own skills. Focusing on comparing themselves on an ego-orientated level with other junior golfers and their abilities will only lead to a decrease in interest and intrinsic motivation and their own perceived abilities. Therefore, by maintaining task orientation, intrinsic motivation, and positive self-talk to focus on your own self-improvement, you can lead from strength to strength in your game.